What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a great start to the weekend. Man, it was a windy day here in Denver yesterday. So hopefully we're done with that and that's behind us and we can hopefully look forward to some more sunshine. I know that Monday is supposed to be like super, super nice. So excited to have that taste of spring back in the air. But guys, something exciting new that I'm going to be starting to do on a weekly basis, which is going to be just a live stream of current market information about the Denver market specifically, but also will tie in a little bit of just the overall national real estate market. I've just got some of my customers, friends, family, some of the audience that I have on my YouTube channels. A lot of people reach out and just ask for kind of up-to-date specific information about, what it's like right now to be a buyer, what it's like right now to be a seller, just something that is coming up a lot. So I thought it would be helpful just to start doing a weekly live stream just to chat about a few of the kind of bigger data points that can hopefully over time start to help you guys understand a bit more about what's important to look for and just to get a better feel for the pulse of just the energy of the Denver market at the current time. So gonna kind of just jump right into it, and this is my first time, so I just put together a few slides. I pull a lot of this data from DMAR, which is the Denver Metro Association of Realtors, and then also through a few other just emails that I get on a weekly basis, specifically one from a really talented title company rep named Megan Aller. She's with First American Title. So she does this really, really in-depth market data report every single week. So I've got a lot of this information today that I'll share with you guys just from that. But just to not bore you guys with, too many numbers, it's really just going to be a quick, hopefully like 5-minute type live stream where I just kind of go through some of the overall kind of bigger talking points. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my latest slide deck with you guys so I can share this with you. One second. And what I'm excited to do too is just to start to learn a little bit more about maybe how helpful this is for you guys. If there's certain things that you're really getting value from, please, by all means, let me know that. Reach out to me. You can send me a message. You can just leave a comment, whatever is best for you guys. But that'll really help just start to kind of fine tune this a bit, because I want to just, more than anything, I just want this to be valuable to you guys and hopefully help you guys learn a thing or two each time that I do this each week. So let's jump in though. Let's go ahead and get this turned on. So Denver market update as of today, March 15th. The first things first, with the Denver Metro Association of Realtors that I mentioned, every month, about the first week of the month, about the 5th, they put out the data for the prior month. So in addition to weekly data that I'll be presenting here in a second, I also just have a few larger kind of data points for just the month of February here in Denver. So that's what this is about. So, and I'm not going to go through all of these, but just, I also send this on my weekly email newsletter, as well as I put it on my social media. So if you guys want to fall back and look at this in a little bit more depth, feel free to check them out there. But overall, saw a lot of positivity in February. And I think that's a sign of just this busier season that we're getting into right now. Homes were up about 8.5% as far as the volume of homes sold. Our median sales price right now is at $645,000. And what this means here is this is for both attached and detached. Down here, that's why you see this overall $599,990. $990. So just at $600,000 basically. For the medium sold price here for single family homes, that's a detached home, meaning it's a single family home. You can also find out what condo median sold prices are here. So if you've ever just been curious about why there's different dollar amounts, they always break it out between the detached and attached. So again, single family homes and condos, and then also do this overall. And, overall, we're seeing a little over 4% appreciation from this time last year. We're at about 3.3 months of inventory, which is slightly down. A balanced market is somewhere about 5 months. I've been told 4 months. I've been told 6 months. So, there's a little bit of a variety there, but I always like to just kind of use about a 4-month just number for just understanding when it's a balanced market, meaning it's not really more of a buyer and it's not really more of a seller market. It's a balanced market. And the big one here from February's data that I wanted to really point out is just the median days in the MLS, which was down over 30%. So it was like 48% or 48 days, I think, last month. This for January. For February, it went significantly down to 29 days. And I even saw some data for just this past week where it was even lower. I'll share some of that here with you guys in a minute. And then as far as the number of active listings, that was up over 11%. As far as brand new listings, that was also up by a ton, 160%. And then pending sales were also up by almost 25%. So a lot of numbers going in the right direction when it comes to just a lot of activity. And I think it's an indication that a lot of people are finally feeling a little bit more confident and getting off the sidelines and starting to make some moves. So that's obviously exciting for me as a realtor, but also I think just overall, it's just a good sign that people are hopefully kind of returning back to normal a bit, and this some of that uncertainty is hopefully behind them. So let's first talk again about that inventory. So I shared that data from the month of February. Now, this current stuff that I'm going to talk through now for the rest of this is actually related to just the past week. So this is much more accurate, up-to-date, data within the last couple of days. I actually pulled this yesterday on the 14th. So as far as the inventory check-in, we've got 7,851 homes right now available. That's almost 5% more options than this time last week. Pretty big jump up there. Way more choices on the market compared to this time last year. New listings are also jumping up each week, giving buyers a lot more opportunities to explore different homes out there. And we'll also have a lot more coming soon listings, which is starting to be a lot more frequent. So, a lot of times as a realtor myself, I always like to have the coming soon, be kind of strategically timed where the home goes live and is officially on the market on a Wednesday or Thursday. That way people are able to hopefully find out about it before the weekend and schedule some showings to see it over the weekend when typically more people are available to see homes. So just overall, though, the inventory is seeing a lot of improvement there. As far as buyer activity, buyers are definitely starting to step up. Pending sales hit 1,050 units last week. That's a significant increase, 9.7%, so almost 10% more from the previous week. However, that pace is still not quite matching what it was last year, keeping more homes available overall compared to last year. More homes, though, are on the market, meaning that there's more choices for buyers. However, that also means for sellers that it might take a little bit longer to finally get your home sold. As far as kind of like a market pulse, what's happening, the months of inventory, we're about 1.7 months of supply, which is slightly down from last week, but definitely still higher than last year. Again, this means for buyers that there's just a little bit less rush. You have a little bit more options out there. You can think through your choices and be a little bit more strategic. As far as the predicted months of inventory, we're expecting the homes to continue taking a little bit longer to sell compared to last year. Again, I think this is going to improve as we get more into the busy selling season, which is kind of March and April and going into May. The odds of selling, they dipped a little this week, especially for the lower and the median priced homes. Luxury homes, which nowadays is about $1 million and up, those are still remaining pretty steady. And as far as this weekend, well, as you can see today, we've got a little bit better weather. I think we're going to continue to have even better weather on Sunday and going into Monday. But, with the clear skies and good weather, that's really a big just reason for more people to get out and tour homes, set up showings. You'll probably see a lot of open houses going on this weekend, probably some balloons and, signs on the street corners. Definitely, we're really getting geared up into that busier time of year. So we're going to see more and more of that. And when the weather's nice, like it is this weekend, that's going to only make that even better and more productive for both buyers and sellers. Quick heads up though, spring break typically does bring fewer showings. A lot of people are out of town. So I've noticed a lot of my friends, families are, some of them are leaving this week, to go on vacations, as well as some people are the following week for their spring break. But these next 2 weeks, because of that, that can be a little bit of a variable with just the amount of traffic and amount of people that are out looking at homes. As far as from a buyer's perspective, just, a little bit more of a buyer-focused metrics here. There's a whopping 16,000 showings this past week, which is up 4%. Homes are typically receiving about 14 showings before going under contract. So don't worry if it does take a little bit longer to make your decision. Homes are selling in about 14 days, a bit quicker than last week, but still giving buyers a lot more breathing room than last year. The only thing I'll just kind of point out here is, 14 showings is quite a few. So, I think what's good to just keep in mind if you are maybe out looking at homes this weekend or you have plans to in the near future is just to, kind of be aware that, despite, it not being what it was, a couple years ago, where you had to basically place an offer that day in order to even be considered because it was such a crazy environment. I think today what's most important is just for you, if you are working with a realtor or if you guys ever are in that position, you want to work with me, I would love that opportunity. But just to be able to at least have a level of communication with the seller. So, maybe you're not ready to submit an offer, but you're at least communicating to the seller of that house that, yeah, you have some interest, just not sure if it's quite the right time to put an offer together. And by at least communicating that to them, hopefully, if they're a good seller's agent, before accepting any offers, they'll let you know. They'll reach out and say, we have an offer in hand. You have until this time to submit an offer yourself. At least that way you don't get caught off guard and maybe there's a home that you weren't quite sure about, but then all of a sudden you find out it's under contract and it's completely off the table. So by at least communicating a little bit better with the other party, the other side of the transaction, that can really help you at least be in a position where you have that second chance to write an offer if you didn't initially. As far as pricing adjustments go, over 33% of homes that sold last week did have at least one price drop. So sellers, pricing is really, really important now more than ever. Starting off with the correct price point when you put your home on the market. The good news, though, price reductions have slowed a little bit slightly, hinting that there is going to be a little bit more stabilization in the market. I had a stat from, actually, I have a client of mine who's under contract right now in a house, and they're moving from out of state. And he shared some news with me that he had heard from his agent selling their home in their other state that they're moving from, and talking about how the average concession amount that he had read for just recently was, I think it was $12,000. So just thinking through that too, that's not necessarily a price reduction, but just understanding that the price that goes under contract might not be the price that it sells at. There could be a significant amount of concessions or adjustments being made after you get under contract, typically through that inspection objection portion, that phase of the contract. So there's just a little bit of wiggle room potentially, depending on what your scenario is and what type of homes you're looking at. If you're looking at older homes that have a little bit more, wear and tear, there might be a little bit more room to find and identify some of these areas as a buyer that you might be able to negotiate and get some of these seller concessions and adjustments made at closing. All right, so that's for buyers. Now let's talk for a second about sellers. The first thing is just patience. Patience is key. Homes are taking a little bit longer right now to sell. So just making sure that you're pricing it smart from day one. That's super duper important. You got to think of it as, when you have something that goes on the market, as soon as that happens, you're the new kid in town. Everybody's focused on you. Everybody's taking a little bit more, attention to your listing, to your property. So if you're priced way, way high initially, and you're not getting those eyeballs to even have interest enough to schedule a showing and come see it in person, then you're really missing out on a big opportunity, because as homes become a little bit more stale and sit for a longer period of time, it's just a little bit more challenging to get that home in front of as many people's eyeballs, get it as high level of exposure as you do initially. So that pricing is really, really important. And then also for sellers, just be prepared to adjust some strategies as needed just to stay competitive, whether that be maybe offering a dollar amount as a concession. Maybe the buyers could use that to buy down their interest rate if they're using a mortgage. There's different creative ways to just make sure that you really are staying competitive and you have the best strategy possible. And then as far as for buyers, again, a few pro tips for you guys. It's definitely still your market right now. There's more homes, there's more leverage, and there's just more fun to be had when it comes to some of this negotiation. So just be aware that, it is becoming a little bit more of a balanced market, but for the time being, buyers do have a little bit of an upper hand. It is a little bit more challenging right now, as you guys all know, with the interest rates being a bit higher. So for buyers not having quite as much competition, just be aware that, you could have a good strategy going into any homes that you're placing offers on to hopefully get the price that you're really looking for on the home, and just make sure you're really satisfied with whatever it is you're trying to purchase. And then also, guys, definitely make sure you're staying tuned for new listings. After spring break, that's really when a lot more, even more opportunities, come about. I saw a little headline a couple days ago from Realtor.com just talking about the most ideal week of the entire year to sell your home, and it was April 4th to 11th. So we're coming up on that, in less than a month. So that really is kind of the peak week, at least in the past, and that's what they're predicting it to be for this year. Just kind of taking that into consideration when it comes to what to expect after spring break. And that's pretty much all I have as far as the data. I know that was kind of quick. I just wanted to kind of at a high level just share a few things with you guys. A couple just extra quick things though, just to share with you. I've been doing every other week, so a bi-weekly, every other Wednesday, I've been doing these free live webinar master classes just on how to succeed as a home buyer in 2025. Had another one just a couple days ago, this past Wednesday, that was a big success, and got some really good value out of it for some of the people that attended. So I'm going to continue to do these every couple of weeks. So got the next one. We're going to mix up the day it's on. It's going to be actually on a Tuesday, and it's going to be on April Fool's Day, April 1st. So no fooling, but that's when it's going to be 6 p.m. If you guys want to get your ticket reserved for that, it's free. Just go to webinar.adamsellsdenver.com. And you can also just reach out to me if you're having a hard time finding it, but webinar.adamsellsdenver.com. And then also, if you guys don't know already, I know I hit it pretty hard on social media about this stuff, but I've got a ton of other just free resources on my website, adamsellsdenver.com, buyer guides, seller guides, handbooks for new construction homes, relocation guides, really everything you can think of. It's all there. It's all for free. Just extra value I'm trying to provide you guys. So if you guys have any, areas that you're trying to learn a little bit more about when it comes to real estate in Denver, there might be some good resources for you guys to check out there. And if you guys haven't yet checked out our podcast, who I host with one of my best buddies, Ben Adams, we have episodes coming out every single Friday. In this past week, so just yesterday, it released, and it was a really fun episode. It's all about the RAS, known as the Reticular Activating System. It's nothing to do with real estate. It's really more of just a fun topic just to share with you guys. If you haven't really heard of that before, again, it's called the RAS, Reticular Activating System. It is a really cool thing just to learn a little bit more about, and it just really helps with your perspective on how you look at life, just looking for opportunities and having a life of abundance and optimism as opposed to the opposite. So I think right now, more than ever, that's just such an important characteristic to really strive to try and have. And this RAS, which everybody has, is a great way to just kind of be mindful of that going through your day-to-day life. So check that out. If you guys need to find it, you can go to adamsellsdenver.com/podcast, or you can just look us up. It's called the Pursuit of Progress Podcast, and it's available on Spotify, Apple, all that good stuff. So guys, with that, I hope that's a little bit helpful for you. Again, we love your feedback. So please share any just, suggestions, things that maybe you would like to see in the future. And I would love just to help out in any way I can, you guys. So I'll see you guys soon, and hope you guys have a great rest of your Saturday and a great weekend. I'll see you later.